I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Plaggio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond, as we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Hey, did you ever just wake up one of those weekend mornings, you hadn't really planned a trip, but you knew you wanted to get out fishing? That's kind of the way it was for me today. It's the first week in October, and we've been traveling around the country, actually doing a lot of filming in some pretty exotic places, but just wanted to get out and do some fishing. Now, it was supposed to be 70 degrees in Denver today. We headed out over Cameron Pass, and it was a lot of snow, and it was in the 30s, and I thought, well, let's go anyway. I had thrown a couple spinning rods and a couple fly rods, float tube my waders in the back of the truck, and not knowing exactly what I was going to do. Dropped over Cameron Pass. The weather's a little better. It's pretty nippy, but it was nicer, and dropped down into by North Michigan Reservoir. And it's a reservoir I've wanted to do a show at for a long time because it's a great little place to fish. We've got the lake itself, and there's a river coming in with beaver ponds and lots of pools. And you can fish this lake from a boat or float tubes. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We came down, the weather, I don't know how long the weather's going to hold, but I want to get some fishing in. So we're going to just work the shoreline with spinning rods and spinners, see if we can pick up a few trout and just make a good day of it, enjoy the outdoors, show you some of the scenery up here as fall turns into winter, and you can have a good time with us. There's one, little guy. You know, I'm fishing with ultralight tackle. I have two spinning rods with me, a medium one with a little bigger spinner, and an ultralight with 4-pound test and a little spinner. And this is a pretty small fish, but they're fun on this ultralight tackle. Breaks the ice and gets us going. And ice might be the right word if the temperature drops anymore here today. Little bitty one. See if he's a rainbow or a brookie. Oh, little rainbow. So pretty, vibrant colors. Now this lake actually will produce some fairly good sized fish, and the river below not only has brook trout, but some nice brown trout. Get the hook out of him without hurting him because he's kind of tiny. We're going to let him go. No, just a pretty little rainbow. You know, it isn't always the size of the fish, it's the setting and the fun you're having. You know, it's a little brisk today, but you look around at these mountains out here, and it's just an incredible view. It's just so awesome. And all I'm doing, just to give you an idea, I'm taking spinning rods and casting out with spinners like Panther. This was a Panther Martin. I have some MEP spinners with me, and those types of spinners in a few different sizes and colors. Got a handful in a little box and a couple spinning rods. That way I can take this and I can even go down and fish the little ponds for the brook trout if I want with these little spinners. And that's all I'm doing is just moving around the shoreline. Kind of just a day to get out, enjoy the water, show you North Michigan Reservoir, and catch a few fish. I love fishing in the fall. It's usually not. Well, right here by the shore. I was almost to shore, and I got a little one, another little rainbow on a spinner. Gosh, they're so pretty in the water. I almost hate to land them. They look so nice. It's not a big fish, but just fun. Right by shore he hit here. Come here. Come here. Come here. We're going to let you go. He's got a little more spunk than I thought. Come here. I love fishing with ultralight. All right, come here. All right, there we go. There we go. What a pretty, pretty, pretty fish. What a pretty fish. On a little Panther Martin spinner. Boy, he's got the hook in him just perfect. Right through the roof of the mouth, easy to get out. Be an easy fish to release and let go. We were thinking about keeping a few. I don't know yet. I think I'm going to let him go though. A little bit small. We're just having a good time up here. You know, I love fishing in the fall, especially in Colorado. It is so beautiful out. It's we're sitting here. I got a mountain, snow-capped mountains right out in front of me. I've got pine trees all around, this beautiful water, the aspen turn gold in the fall. You know, there's a couple other reasons I really like fishing in the fall too. One of them is that a lot of the fishermen are hunters too, and they put their rods away when hunting season starts. And a lot of the weekend anglers have quit fishing, especially when the weather turns a little bit like this. So here I am. There's a guy in a float tube out there, and there's a few hunters driving by. But I've been standing on the shore here now for a good part of the late morning, and there hasn't been another fisherman. And there's a dozen other places up here just like this that I could go and do the same thing. There we go. There we go. Another one. Another one. Oh, boy, they fight on this light tackle. I'm switching between a real ultralight with light line and a little heavier spinning rod. And these fish are just coming after it. And it's actually, I don't know if it's warming up or if I'm feeling warmer because we're catching so many fish, but it's just, look at them go. You know, that's a neat thing about lakes like North Michigan, is that they're heavily stocked and you can just have a blast and catch a lot of fish. Come on, come on, I'm gonna let you go. It's okay. It's okay, I'm gonna let you go. Look how pretty they are though. You know, in the fall, in the cold water, the fish the colors get so vibrant and it's just so much fun. Now these aren't big fish. I'm gonna let you go. But the neat thing about a lake like North Michigan, watch him swim away, there he goes. The neat thing about a lake like this is that it is a put and take fishery. There's nothing wrong with harvesting a few fish, and we may keep a few before the end of the day, take them home and fry them up or smoke them. But there's nothing wrong in a lake like this, taking a few home once in a while that's well stocked. And you know, it's just a great, here you are, I got snow-capped mountains over there, I got blue sky behind me, I got pines all around. I'll tell you what I mean, it's a little cool, but I'm dressed for it, I'm comfortable, and you just can't have a better time than this. You know, if you come up to these lakes, North Michigan in particular, I thought I had a fish on, I guess I just hit a snag, where we're at, there's a bunch of cabins on the one end of North Michigan Reservoir, and they're run by the Park Service and they're rented out. And they're really pretty nice. Now they have wood or propane heat. There's no running water in them, but they sleep about 6 people. And last time I checked, they were like $90 to $150 in that range per night. But that's not bad at all. And you can stay right here on the lake. And it's just an awesome, you take your family. I mean, this is a great lake to take a family fishing, because there's so many ways you can fish and so many types of things you can do here. I mean, it's so beautiful. You can sit on shore and catch trout like we are today. You can get out in a boat. Or in addition, there's a whole bunch of beaver ponds. The river, North Michigan River, both coming in and out of the area, it has beaver ponds on both ends. And talking to some of the other guys that fished, they're just full of brook trout and some browns. And there's just some beautiful fishing. You can fly fish those, fish them with spinning gear. You can wade them, or you can kind of walk along them. They're just awesome ways to fish. And it's just a whole nother experience, different from fishing the lake. I know of some people that have caught some fairly large browns. Now you're probably going to catch mostly brook trout in those ponds. But then you've got the lake itself here. And talking to some of the parks people, I guess there's been some fish in the mid-20s come out of this lake. So it fishes tremendous. Whoa! You know what I did? My hands were getting cold. I wanted to warm them up and I didn't want to keep casting, but I didn't want to stop fishing. So I put a little piece of power bait on and cast it out. Hardly got it out there for 5 minutes. I was just taking a break. Got one on it. It just shows you come to these lakes like North Michigan up on these mountain lakes where bait is allowed. I mean, you can catch fish on spinners. You can catch fish on, oh, he's tangled in some weeds. There he goes. On spinners, on flies. You can fly fish up here. You can put a boat on and troll. There's just a number of ways to catch these fish. Another little one. Nice little fish though. But we're having fun. You know, the sun's trying to peek through, so we don't tell anybody. It's a nice quiet day. And we're having a great time. Well, that's a little better fish. That's not bad. We'll get the hook out of him. He kind of bit it down in there a little bit. And when you get old like me, your eyes fail you. Well, another nice, healthy, bright rainbow. And like I said, you can catch these fish on spinners. I was been catching them on spinners, just casting out, walking along the shore. Wanted to take a break because my hand, it's a little cool. My hands are getting a little cold. Put on a piece of power bait, a little slip sinker, and a hook. Threw it out there, and it wasn't out there 5 minutes. We had a bite on it. So it just shows you there's lots of ways to catch these fish. Look at this. Look at these beavers. They're actually here watching us. Isn't that awesome? You know, we come up in this Cameron Pass area a lot, and there's moose up here, and there's elk. Oh, and look at these. Are they beaver or otters? I think they're otters. Are they? I think they might be otters instead of beavers, but they're out there just playing, just having a good time. How great is that? What a good time. Look at these. Oh man, I'll tell you what, some beautiful otters out there. They're so playful. Wow. Otters. I guess those otters, was talking to another guy here, and he said those otters are out here all the time, and when there aren't a lot of people around, they come in real close. He's got one over there. You got one? He's still got it, doesn't he? Oh yeah, he's got it. Go ahead. You know, tell me, you filming? You know, we've been joined by a few other anglers. A couple other people are fishing the lake, and there's plenty of room here. And, oh, that's a nice fish. Oh, nice fish. Wow. That's tremendous. We'd like to get a close-up of that. That's a really nice fish. They show up, and they were fishing on the other side of the lake, and they said, "How you doing?" And we said, "Well, we're catching lots of fish." They said, "Is there room here? Do you mind?" We said, "No." And now I'm kind of mad I let him come here, because look at the size of that fish. I'm gonna have to go over and see that. Wow, that's pretty nice. Let's just bring it right over in here. I'll take a look at it. Whoa, boy, that's a nice fish. Look at that. Whoa, let's turn so she can get a good shot of that. Get a good close-up. Turn it up a little bit. Big, healthy, fat fish. Look at that.
That's nice.
That's a beautiful. It just shows you that in these reservoirs like this, we've been catching mostly small fish. What's your name?
Ryan Sark.
Ryan, well, good job, Ryan. Way to come out and just make me look bad right away. We'll let you take care of your fish, but good job. You know, it just shows you a lake like this. We've been out here, and I've been having a blast. And catching mostly, 8 to 15 inch fish. I had a 16 or 18 incher. He shows up with that. It has to be like, oh, look at over here. What's going on over here? There was a whole bunch of fish just surfacing. Big fish just came out of the water. I mean, these were big fish I just saw. And you just saw that one he caught. It just shows you that these lakes do have some big fish in them. Now I got to get back out there as quick as I can. Ooh. Another little one. At least it feels little. Oh, it's not so little. This is a nicer fish again. I mean, it's not like that, some of the big ones we've seen caught and have caught ourselves today, but just a nice fish. Boy, they're so pretty. You know, it's getting towards the end of the day. I think we're going to keep a couple, take home and fry up ourselves. Well, it's not as big as I thought he was, but he's strong. And on this ultralight tackle, they're so much fun. And all we're doing is casting little spinners out. And not even that far from shore, just light little spinners. But on this light tackle, it's so much fun. Boy, he's just barely hooked. Just barely hooked. Like I said, I think that's a good eating size. You know, you'll see us preach catch and release when we're fishing some pristine rivers or fragile fisheries. And you should. You have to be really aware of where you're fishing. But responsible harvest and understanding selective harvest and the use of the resources. This is a stocked rainbow trout. Probably put in here earlier this year. And he's grown up to be about 12 inches long. And they're put here for people to come and catch a few and take home and eat. You know, just don't over harvest. And that's what fisheries like North Michigan are all alike. Now you saw us fishing the Big Thompson or the Platte or some of these pristine rivers. Those fish can't reproduce very well or sustain a large fishery, so we tend not to harvest those fish. So just be aware of the fishery you're fishing in and what impact you'll have. And there's nothing wrong with taking a few home and having some fish for dinner. You know what, we got a minute here. Let me show you exactly what we were fishing with. Basically, all I've been doing is throwing a number of these little inline spinners. This happens to be a MEPS one. We threw some from Panther Martin. We threw some made by Rooster Tail. A number of companies make these. You see them in all the tackle stores. Really a common lure used for trout all over the world. And all we've been doing is walking around the shore, throwing these in, casting them back. Now we may vary the speed of the retrieve or may let it sink a little deeper. They're really effective. And you know, a lot of these mountain lakes, that's all you need is a spinning rod, half a dozen of these little spinners in different colors and sizes. Get out and give them a try. It really just, you can just have a good time. Now we did also catch some fish on power bait, and so did some of the other people who were out here. Let me show you how we had that rigged up. First of all, I was using just jar Berkeley power bait. This great stuff for catching trout, and I wanted to warm my hands up. Usually I like casting better, but you saw that big fish that one fella caught. He caught that on power bait just sitting on the bottom. And what you do, you take all I have is a hook. I have a small light wire hook. Some people use a treble hook, and I have a leader, and at the end of that leader I have a slip sinker. And you can use different styles of sinker. I have one that slips up and down the line, so when the trout picks up the power bait and runs, he can run with the hook without feeling the sinker. All we do is I pack a little power bait around that hook, cast it out and let it sit there, and you can kick back, have a sandwich, enjoy yourself, and just have a good time. So, you know, there's lots of ways to enjoy these kind of lakes and fish them. If you're a fly fisherman, you could come up here. You could come up and cast a number of little lures and spoons. Flying a bubble would be great, but these lakes like North Michigan Reservoir just avail themselves to any type of fishing you like to do. And they're great for kids too, because you can fish in so many ways and you can just have a great time. It's got another one over there on the power bait. Just shows you that you can just, all levels of and types of fishermen can come and enjoy a lake like this and have a really good time. And he's going to take a few home. I heard him say, let's fry these up tonight. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that in a lake like this. This is a stocked put and take reservoir, and it's meant for you to harvest some of the fish and enjoy it, and that's part of the experience. There we go. Another one on a spinner. Oh, about average, same as like the ones we've been catching. They're so feisty though. This clear water, you can watch them swimming in there. Just look at them. They look so, they're so pretty. And you know what? We're going to keep another couple more because we're going to have a few to eat today too, I think. All right. You know, it's getting towards the end of the day. We probably won't stay much longer, but it just shows you the fun you can have. A little lake like this, come up, throw a few spinners offshore, beautiful looking rainbow trout, and just have a really good time. You know, another thing we need to mention here is that we're surrounded by campgrounds up here. So, you know, I mentioned earlier you can stay in the cabins. There's great cabins the Parks Department has here that you can rent. But there's great campgrounds. There's campgrounds all along this edge up in the hills and all along on that side. And then there's a number of other campgrounds all over this Cameron Pass area. So it's really a great area to just come up and bring a family and have a good time. It's just a wonderful place to spend time. I mean, whether you're just into the outdoors, or you like to get out with your family, or you just want to fish or hunt, this Cameron Pass area, North Michigan Reservoir, what a great place to, just to come and enjoy. Tell you what, if you get an opportunity, get up in Cameron Pass, enjoy North Michigan Reservoir and all the other lakes up here. Have a good time, bring your kids up, enjoy the wildlife, and join us next week on Mountain States Fishing. Ooh, this is a little bigger one. Oh, wow, when they hit on these ultralights, we're fishing for there's some big fish in this lake. There are some nice ones, but mostly we're catching 8 to 14 inch fish. But